He saved the sick alien hatchling, and instantly got the loyalty of the entire colony. Beginning. The planet Varela 9 was a world of shimmering clouds and bioluminescent forests, its atmosphere thick with drifting spores that glowed faintly at night. The air smelled of whetstone and nectar, and the skies pulsed with veins of violet lightning. To most humans, Varela 9 was a research nightmare. Unpredictable storms, unstable ecosystems, and strange creatures that defied classification. But to Dr. Callan Rowe, xenobiologist and field medic, it was paradise. Callan had been stationed at the outpost Caduceus for 6 months, part of an Earth Alliance project to study Varela's unique life forms. His team was small, a communications officer, a data analyst in himself, but they were pioneers. Varela's ecology was rich with mysteries, and Callan had devoted every waking hour to documenting its alien biology. Lately, though, he had been noticing signs that something was wrong. The forest song, the rhythmic hum of insectoid wings and plant vibrations, had quieted. The skies, once bright, had dimmed beneath an unnatural haze, and tracks of enormous creatures, deep claw marks in the soil, appear closer to camp each night. The locals, a race of towering, mantis-like beings known as the Shivra, warned him to stay away from the forest core. The mother nest is sick, they told him in clicking tones. Our young die before they breathe. The balance is broken. Callan had seen the Shivra only from afar. They were fiercely territorial and rarely approached outsiders. Yet despite their alien appearance, segmented limbs, translucent wings, multifaceted eyes, there was intelligence and culture in their movements. Their colony structures, woven from living vines and hardened resin, were works of organic architecture. Then one night, during a thunderstorm that painted the horizon in violet fire, everything changed. He heard at first a faint, warbling cry echoing beyond perimeter fence. At first, Callan thought it was interference from the storm, but when he stepped outside in his exosuit, rain pelting against the metal plating, the cry came again, weaker, almost pitiful. He followed it through the slick mud and phosphorescent ferns until he found the source. A Shivra hatchling, barely alive, half buried in the muck. Its exoskeleton was dull, its limbs trembling. The delicate wing buds on its back fluttered weakly. Callan froze. He knew the risk. Touching a Shivra infant could be seen as blasphemy, an act of contamination. But the scientist in him, and perhaps the human, overpowered his fear. The creature's chest plate heaved irregularly, its internal fluids leaking from a small puncture wound. Callan knelt and scanned it with his medkit. Bacterial infection, severe fluid loss, organ distress. If he didn't act now, the creature would die within minutes. Hang in there, little one, he murmured, voice muffled inside his helmet. He injected a stabilizer and sealed the wound with a layer of nanogel. The hatchling's convulsions slowed. It blinked its translucent eyes open and stared up at him, terrified, confused, yet trusting. Something deep in Callan's chest shifted. He lifted the hatchling gently and wrapped in his cloak. When he returned to Caduceus, his colleagues were horrified. Are you insane? Hissed Mara, the comms officer. If the Shivra find out you touch one of their young, then I'll explain, Callan interrupted. They're dying. Maybe I can find out why. He placed a hatchling inside the medical containment bay and began a full analysis. The results stunned him. The creature wasn't just infected, it was poisoned. Its bloodstream carried traces of synthetic neurotoxin, a compound not found anywhere in nature. Something, or someone, was poisoning the Shivra's young. For days, Callan nursed the hatchling back to health. He named it Turn, after an ancient Earth word meaning hope. It grew stronger, its wings shimmering faintly under the lab lights. Turn responded to sounds, clicked curiously, and followed Callan with uncanny intelligence. But word spread quickly through the jungle. One night, Caduceus 4's motion sensors lit up, a dozen life forms surrounding the camp. Then came the sound, a chorus of high-frequency trills that reverberated through the metal walls. The Shivra had come. Callan stepped outside slowly, holding Turn in his arms. Towering figures emerged in the mist, 8 feet tall, armored in glossy chitin, their mandibles clacking in agitation. At their center stood one larger than the rest, her wings patterned in gold. Her eyes glowed faintly with green light. The Shivra Queen. You took our child. Her translator hissed through the air. Callan bowed his head. I saved it. It was dying. The Shivra hissed among themselves. The Queen tilted her head, regarding the trembling hatchling in his arms. Turn chirped weakly and reached a limb toward her. The Queen's wings fluttered once. You touch our blood, she said finally. You are bonded. Bonded. Callan repeated, confused. The Queen stepped forward, her claws delicately grazing Turn's shell. Then, to his astonishment, she placed her other hand against his chest. A faint hum filled the air, and Callan felt warmth bloom beneath his skin. His vision blurred. He saw flashes of light, of ancient tunnels, of Shivra ancestors nurturing the first nest beneath glowing trees. When his vision cleared, the Queen had stepped back. You share the breath of our kind, she said. What you heal, we honor. You are kin to the nest now. That night, the Shivra surrounded the outpost in silent vigil. When morning came, they led Callan deep into the forest, beneath a canopy that glowed with bioluminescent spores. There he saw it, The mother nest, a vast organic structure pulsing with dim light. Thousands of pods hung like teardrops from its walls, each containing a hatchling. Many were dark and lifeless. The air reeked of decay. "The sickness began after the humans drilled," said the queen, her voice distant. "Your machines poison our rivers. The young cannot breathe the water." Callan's heart sank. The drilling, ordered by AIandAliens to harvest beryllium, a rare energy crystal, had spread deeper than his team realized. "I'll fix this," he promised. "I swear it." For days, he worked alongside the shiver healers, analyzing the toxins and comparing them with Alliance compounds. What he found confirmed the queen's suspicion. The contamination came from a runoff of bioreactive coolant used in the mining rigs. But when Callan transmitted his findings to the orbiting command ship, he received a curt reply. "Data received. Stand down, Dr. Rowe. Mining operations are essential to Earth's energy needs. Containment protocols are being reviewed." He slammed his fist against the console. "They're killing an entire species." That night, Tern climbed onto his shoulder and chirped softly. Its tiny claws rested on his neck, and for the first time, Callan realized what bonded truly meant. The shiver's energy pulsed faintly through him. He could feel their presence, their grief, their hope. He couldn't abandon them. Callan sent a falsified report to command, claiming the contamination was self-correcting. Then, with shiver guidance, he began constructing a filtration system using organic technology, vines, crystals, and the living resin of the nest itself. The shiver watched with reverence as he merged human science with alien biology. Weeks passed. The water began to clear. The hatchling started to survive. Tern grew larger, his wings glimmering like liquid glass. But the reprieve didn't last. One night, AIandAliens dropships descended through the clouds, not for rescue, but for containment. They had intercepted his false reports. Captain Vera Kane, a stern woman with the Alliance insignia burning on her chest plate, approached Callan as soldiers surrounded the nest. "You violated containment protocol," she said coldly. "You've compromised an entire research zone." "I saved them," Callan shouted. "We caused this, Vera, our drills, our waste. Look around you." "They're not our concern," she snapped. "Beryllium is priority one." The queen emerged then, wings flaring wide, her warriors rising behind her like a wall of blades. "You harm our kin again," she hissed, "and none of you will leave the sky alive." Vera raised her weapon. Time froze. Callan stepped between them, arms outstretched. "No more killing," he cried. "I can fix this, but you have to give me time." For a long, terrible moment, the storm rumbled above them. Then Tern, now the size of a small dog, fluttered to Vera's feet and chirped. The same weak sound had made the night Callan found it. Something in her eyes softened. She lowered her rifle. 48 hours, she said quietly. "After that, this site is quarantined." Ending. Callan worked without rest. The shivers sang as they built, their voices vibrating the air like deep, harmonic thunder. Together they infused the filtration systems with living tissue, creating vast bioconduits that pulsed beneath the ground. At the 47th hour, the system activated. Pure water flowed through the nest again, luminous and clean. The dying hatchlings stirred within their pods, their hearts flickering with light. The queen let out a cry that shook the forest, a sound of triumph, mourning, and rebirth all at once. Callan collapsed from exhaustion, Tern nestled against his chest. When he awoke, the queen stood over him, her wings shimmering gold. "You have done what none of our kind could," she said softly. "You healed the mother." She extended one long limb and pressed it to his forehead. Light flared around him, and for an instant he saw, truly saw, the shiver's vast world. Nests stretching for miles, ancient songs echoing through time, and now, hope returned where death once ruled. When he returned to the Alliance camp, Captain Kane was waiting. Her face was unreadable. "You did it," she said finally. "Command has ordered the mine shut down. Varela, 9 is now under preservation order." Callan smiled faintly. "Then maybe humanity learned something after all." She looked at the jungle behind him. "Or maybe you did." He turned back toward the forest. The shiver had gathered on the ridges, their bodies gleaming under morning light. Tern flew up from his shoulder, circling once before disappearing into the canopy. "You'll see him again," the queen's voice whispered in his mind, a gift of their bond. Months later, Callan remained on Varela as liaison between the Shiver and the Alliance. Together they established a research exchange, human medicine for Shiver biocrystals, knowledge for peace. The queen honored him with the title, He Who Healed the Nest. And one dawn, as he walked by the now clear river, he saw something ripple beneath the surface, a familiar gleam. Tern surfaced, now fully grown, his wings spanning meters, eyes glowing bright with intelligence. He emitted a series of soft trills, and behind him, hundreds of hatchlings emerged, a new generation born into clean water. Callan felt tears sting his eyes. The queen appeared beside him, her presence towering yet gentle. "They remember," she said, "all of them, the one who gave breath back to the nest." He looked at her. "I didn't just save a species," he said. "You saved me, too." She bowed her head. "Then our bond is complete." As the sun rose over Varela 9, casting light across the luminous forest, Callan stood beside the alien queen, watching his turn let the young into the open skies. In that moment, the human and the shiver shared a silence that spanned two worlds, a promise forged in compassion and sealed by life itself. And somewhere above, the Earth Alliance ships turned quietly away, leaving the planet untouched. A living monument to the day a single act of kindness changed the fate of an entire species.